I fully believe group projects were invented to test patience, leadership, communication, and how long it takes before one person does the entire assignment. Hi, welcome back to Teen Drama with me, Destiny B, and today we're talking about why group projects are literally a social experiment. Segment 1, when the teacher says pick a group. The second the teacher says pick a group, that room turns into the Hunger Games. Number 1, you make eye contact with your best friend. Y'all lock eyes. You go. Before she even says pick a group, even if you don't know whether or not you're picking groups, you just go. And yeah. And then especially, but if you're in a class with like people you don't know, that panic of not knowing who you're going to work with and then getting stuck with random people, you know, like being like, okay, if anyone doesn't have a group, please raise your hand. And it's just a bunch of idiots. Like, it's just a bunch of idiots. Like, I don't want to get stuck in a group, but there wasn't enough people with the smart kids. And then there's always that one person who says, should we work together? And you already know it's over. Like, you don't even want to be a group project with them, but they don't have anyone else, and teachers going to look at you sideways if you're like, I don't want to be in a group with you, you know? Especially when you have that one friend that can't say no to people, and they're like, should we work together, guys? And she's like, yeah. And you're like, no! You know? And the teacher's going to say, choose wisely, like you're selecting a life partner. But, like, picking a group is not a casual decision. It's literally a business agreement. Yeah. But segment 2, the different types of group projects, because there are, well, not even the different types of group projects. There's just, like, the different types of group project people, you know, like different people. So number 1, we have the leader. This is the person who immediately opens the Google Docs, makes the slides, assign roles, and starts acting like a manager. They are giving you deadlines for things. Hey, you have this done by then. You have this done by then. We'll put this all in together and we'll be the rule. And this is personally me. I'll be like, hey, can we all do this person, this person, this person, this person? You know, because making the group chat, because personally, if it doesn't get done, I'm gonna be upset. And then I also will always make backups of people's stuff because they can't get offended if they didn't do it. Like, you're not the teacher, but you are giving deadlines, though. And there's the ghost. This person disappears until the night before it's due. They do not show up in the group chat. Their slide isn't empty. They haven't opened the assignment yet. They have done nothing. And they did do the best part of the project, though. They are the literal best person. They are also the person who can literally present the best, but they didn't do anything until the night before. And their segment of it was the best part. And they'll be like, sorry, I was busy. Busy doing what? Avoiding us. And then there's the I'll do it person. They pick the easiest part immediately because it's always the intro. It's always 2 sentences. Be serious. Like, they're like, I'll do it to the easiest part. You know, they pick so fast because they want to do the intro. They want to do the intro every single time. 2 sentences. It's like group project by this person, this person, this person, and this person. I hate you. You did nothing. You didn't even look at the part of the assignment. You learned nothing from this assignment, by the way. You know, group projects, you're supposed to learn stuff. You learned nothing. Then there's the overachiever. They make the project look amazing, but also make everyone else feel underqualified. This person is crazy. They read the entire textbook before the school year started, and then they did the entire project. They also, after you did your stuff, they went through and edited and revised it to fix any grammar or punctuation mistakes. They also were the person who did not use a Canva template. They actually slowly went through and put all the things on the slides that they wanted. Then we have the confused one. They mean well, but they have no idea what's going on. I also like to call this person the comic relief because they don't know what's happening. You know, they don't know what's happening. They're like, wait, what are we doing again? Baby, the project is due tomorrow. They haven't read anything. They try, though. They do try. I'll give them that. They try, and they probably have ADHD, and they're probably unmedicated. Because they didn't get jack squat done. But you know what? They're nice. And they said a couple words during the presentation. Then there's the person who thinks they're helping. I hate them. They add random fonts, weird pictures, or a sentence that makes no sense. And it's like, thank you for contributing. But also, what is this? Like, real question. What is this? Because they're like, they don't really know what's going on, like the confused one. But they don't want to not contribute like the confused one. So they do be trying. They try really hard to get absolutely nothing done. Yeah. And then there's the one that actually does nothing. They put their name on the slide, and then they call that teamwork. And if the teacher asks them to read during the presentation or answer any questions after, it's like, Enrique, could you please answer this question? No, ma'am, I could not. I can't do that. Like, your name's not a contribution, babes. It's not. Segment 3, the Google Doc that shows everything. So Google Docs is low-key a snitch because nowadays teachers are looking at your Google Doc history. Number one, if you're using AI, you're cooked. She's gonna be like, so how'd you write that entire essay in 2 minutes? I copied and pasted it from another thing that I was writing on. Let me see that then. You know, you can also see who typed what, which is really funny because that person who just put their name on the slide is getting a big fat 0 because they did absolutely nothing. And then the edit history exposes every single person. Like, if you said something crazy in the Google Docs because you weren't in the group chat, like if you started spamming slurs, because we all know that some people didn't have their numbers and they would like text on the group chats and stuff on the Google Docs, like you were cooked. And then someone claiming their helped and their own contribution was like literally taking the title font, snitched. And then you watch people join the doc and then leave like immediately. And I think that's kind of funny because, you know, like if somebody does the work for you on your doc and then they leave, like I've seen this happen before. Like you make the doc, you do the whole assignment, and then you switch host and you leave the doc so that it looks like it's that. And then there's one person typing at the exact same time as you are, and then they're like messing up the sentence, and it's really frustrating. Google Docs like doesn't lie. It has receipts, timestamps, and witnesses. It is on it. Okay, segment 4. Group projects create drama for absolutely no reason. It all starts as a school assignment, but suddenly there are alliances. Number 1, you are arguing over who does what. So that intro person, there was 3 of them in that group, especially when the teacher assigns them. Like, I swear to God, if I ever get put in a group with my biggest op again, I can't do this anymore. And there's someone who's not answering the group chat, and then everyone's texting them. And then someone getting mad when you fix their part. Like, if you suck, I'm not letting my grade plummet for that. I fear. And there's people saying, we should meet after school. Nobody wants to meet after school. And there's an awkward moment when you have to tell someone their slide's bad. You know, they wrote 3 sentences and they tried. But nothing's more uncomfortable than professionally telling someone their paragraph is giving absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Segment 5, presenting is the final boss. It is all over. After all the chaos, now you have to stand in front of the class and pretend it was organized. So, number 1, you have that person who did absolutely nothing reading directly off the slide. Someone not knowing which slide is theirs, and they don't know when it's their turn. They're just sitting here like, what? And then someone saying, my group didn't tell me. Baby, you should have known this. Maybe if you were listening. Because, you know, Sally Sue, the teacher, Miss Sally Sue, is going to be like, oh, Johnny. And then Johnny's going to be like, my group didn't tell me what color, my group didn't tell me that. For real. And then it's like, bro, come on. And then there's the awkward silence when the presentation freezes. Like, if you click on it, and it's like that. And the person says, we worked really hard when they did literally nothing. Presentations where you find out who actually did the project, genuinely. So yes, group projects are a social experiment. They test your patience, your communication skills, your ability to not crash out, and your willingness to carry people who did not deserve your academic labor. That's it for today with this episode of Teen Drama with me, Destiny B. Like, comment, follow, reply to the poll, rate 5 stars, subscribe, do all the interactive thingies, and let me know what type of person you are in a group project.